Hello and welcome to my Wwise implementation video. Today I'm going to show you a few things that I did for a demolition derby game not too long ago. I'm going to focus today mainly on collisions and announcer. You can see in our collisions switch container here, I'm going to pop that open, and we're going to have 4 different blend tracks for each type of collision. And for each collision, I've separated the sounds by frequency content, so highs, lows, and mids. So if you play each one individually, and then play them all together, and so you'll get a random variation of the low, mids, and highs every time the collision plays to simulate some sort of randomization. So we're going to go to the Game Syncs tab, and I'm going to show you the switch that I set up for the collision intensity. And I've set up an RTPC, which is collision damage. And so I've made notes for my developer based on damage points to the car, what sound it should be playing. I've also created an X and a Y axis for impact direction. So X is left, right, Y is front, back. And I've also created another game parameter here for player view in case the player is playing in first person or third person bird's eye view. And the reason for that is because sounds are going to change based on the player's perspective. So I'm going to show you what I've done here with the collisions. I've added the player view RTPC to affect the change of the LFE. So when you're inside the car player view, you get more of an LFE boost on your collisions, and when you're outside, less of an LFE boost. I've also got impact direction, so we've got left, right, and center. And I've also set up the Y-axis as well for front and back if you're playing on a 5.1 system. So now I want to go over to the dialogue here and start talking a bit about that. Before I get into that, though, I want to show you something that I did in the master bus, which is set up 2 buses here for the announcer and the car. And as you can see, the announcer bus is going to duck. It's a ducking bus that anything coming in on the car bus will get ducked by 8 dB. And you can see that my car sounds are all going through the car bus. My collision sounds are all going through the car bus. So those sounds will be ducked by 8 dB whenever the announcer speaks. So I'm going to open up the announcer actor mixer here. And as you can see, I've got stitched and non-stitched dialogue. In our stitch dialog, we've got sequence containers, inside which are some random containers containing all the different parts of the audio for the announcer. In our non-stitch dialog, you can see they're more just one-liners for things like the race progress, race finish, race intro, different maneuvers, collisions, and his reactions to what's going on in the race. So now we're going to go over to the effects tab here, and I'm going to show you that I set up a whole bunch of effects here to futz the announcer's voice to make it sound like it's coming over a PA. I've also used the player view RTPC to change the dry level of the reverb and the EQ settings for the dialogue announcer because it's going to sound different from first person to third person. And I've also used S-curves here so that we don't get any popping and clicking when the player changes from first person to third person view. So we're going to open up our Soundcaster session here, and I'm just going to play a couple of scrapes. And we can check out the RTPCs, listen for the change from player view, and of course the X-axis. So we'll start exterior with a few scrapes. You can hear all the high end there. And let's change the X-axis so it comes from the left and from the right. And let's change to interior view. And you can hear how the high end is kind of rolled off a bit there. Let's go back into the center, play some more, get some heavier collisions going. So you can hear it. When we switch to outside, it's more high end. And to inside, more low end thud. Let's get some heavy impacts. So let's give you a little simulation of the game here. Now pay attention to all the things like the ducking and the EQ changes and the directional changes.
Folks, this just never gets old. Nothing like a good old smash up to get the adrenaline flowing and the blood pumping. Oh, nice collision, but it doesn't look too bad. Ooh, there's some damage there from that impact, but it doesn't look to be race-ending. The sound of metal crushing against metal can only mean one thing. A great derby day.
And there you go. A little sample of what Wwise can do.